Our topic is pivot tables. Here we have some data that comes from Europe. It has a bunch of cities in Portugal with various populations, as you can see here, the total number of deaths as well as the population of 65 and over. This is a sort of data, or it's similar to the sort of data that you would use for pivot tables. So that's what we're going to look at now. To create a pivot table on the PC, on the Mac, it's a little bit different, but you can do the same thing. You click on the Insert menu and then click Pivot Table. Now you'll get this little dialog box up, and it says Selected Table Arrange. So at this point, include the header row, but select all of the data. And I think there's like 500, and I don't know how many rows. So there's 308 rows or something like that. So you can select an external data set if you have one, but usually it'll be right in the spreadsheet. And I usually use the new worksheet here on the second, where you want the pivot table report to be placed. I put it on a new worksheet, and I click OK. So then you get this thing. You can, at this point, drag and drop your rows in over here, or you can drag and drop them below, or you can just click check marks. And so if I did that like this, I've collected those two, and so I put the check marks in there. You can basically change those until you get what you want. So here I have both nuts 2 and nuts 3. Nuts 2 are areas, and nuts 3 is cities themselves. And then, and if I just want to see the areas, I can click the minus button here. And those that don't have minus buttons, the area is the city. And so I can do that if I want. It automatically sums. Here I have the total deaths and the ones for over 65. Now you might say, well, I don't want, it might not, for your particular data, it might not make sense to have a sum, but you might want an average or something. So the way you do that is to click on the down arrow on the values over here, and click on value field settings, and then you can choose whether you sum it up or you count, or you take an average or min or max, that sort of thing. In my case, sum is what we want. So that's basically how you create a pivot table. You can, I'll unclick these and show you how to do the same thing as we did by dragging them around. And so here we would drag the nuts 2 over here, and then we can drag nuts 3 over there too. And then we can drag total deaths in here. And if I want the population, we can drag it and just lay it on top of there. And so that does it that way. Or if you prefer, we can undo all of that and drag them down here. So the rows are nuts 2. Now that nuts is, if you don't know what that means, you get a data set and you don't know what it means. And of course, look it up. That's a territorial unit is what that stands for. And we can drag over here on the values what we had before. And so there's 3 different ways to create the mostly by drag and drop or clicking the check marks. So that's pivot tables, or a start on pivot tables. We could talk about them for a week, I think.